Welcome to SVG-TV News. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Police Commissioner Colin John has said the RSVG police force is taking a zero-tolerance approach to acts of vigilante justice. Commissioner John was speaking with SVG-TV following the arrest of 4 persons in connection with the assault of Paul Stevens, a 41-year-old businessman of Barley. The incident occurred at the funeral service of Stevens' wife, Jetonia Thomas, who died on May 10th of heart-related causes, according to official reports. But persons of the community have accused John of causing his wife's death. Commissioner John said this and the previous case where the public took matters into their own hands are being investigated.
For this year, and I don't want to be speaking too quickly, but we are able to contain the issues of the serious crimes. Whenever an offense is brought to our attention, we will deal with it as quickly and as efficient as possible. This case in point, we have 4 persons in custody as regards this allegation where a person was attacked at the graveside in Transi, and those persons would be taken to court. As regards the issue in Pitibodel, again the police is looking into that matter, and we would be dealing with the persons who got involved in that incident as well. We'll be taking them to court once we have sufficient evidence so to do.
The top cop urged the public not to take the law into their own hands.
St. Vincent is a country of laws, and persons should not resort to vigilante justice or the laws of the jungle. If or whenever those incidents occur, the police officers, we will deal with it, and we will make sure that the perpetrators of these crimes are brought to justice. I'm just appealing to citizens not to take the law into their own hands. Utilize the services of the police. We're trying to do as best a job as possible to serve the nation, and resorting to those methods of operation would not help our cause, and it would not help the cause of the general public of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So please, persons who are so inclined, please desist from those practices.
Commissioner John said the police recognizes the importance of a good relationship with the public and is engaged in activities this week to enhance that relationship.
We have a very public-focused police week. Yesterday, for instance, police officers were involved in several community activities, including the refurbishing of the public bath at Redemption Shops. We also had free haircuts and free eyebrow shaping done at the Central Police Station. We are also giving away free breakfast to members of the public. Yesterday also we were supposed to hand over some goalposts to the Atley Hall playing field. Several officers were involved in beach cleanup and handing out gift baskets to needy persons. These are some of the activities that we are undertaking in order to enhance the relationship of the police with the public.
The police here have arrested and charged yet another person for indecent assault on a minor. The police said that Sheldon Pear, a 23-year-old inspector of Glen, was arrested and charged for indecent assault on a 14-year-old student. The incident is said to have occurred around 7:50 a.m. on Wednesday, May 23rd. Pear appeared before the family court on Monday, May 28th and pleaded not guilty to the offense. The matter was adjourned to September 26, 2018. As part of efforts to keep the culture of Indians in SVG alive, the Indian Heritage Foundation will again be holding its annual Indian Arrival Day activities, this time at the Indian Bay Beach. President of the Indian Heritage Foundation, Junior Bacchus, said much of the Indian culture and norms were lost since they arrived in this country in 1861, and the foundation is using the Arrival Day to rebuild what was lost.
In fact, they were given Christian names, and the planters dispersed them in small numbers across the various estates. So there wasn't enough Indians to really pull together. In fact, there was one attempt in Argyll for the Hindi faith to practice their Hindi faith in a church in Argyll, but that only lasted a year. So that was in around 1885 or thereabout. So with that, St. Vincent really lost a lot of the culture, a lot of the history. So the foundation, when we got started in 2006, we decided to try and get more into the cultural activities, the Indian food, the dance, the music, and so on. So we are trying to rebuild that which was lost.
So basically create something for the future generation.
Yes, so the younger ones can at least understand the heritage of their foreparents.
The foundation president said this year's activities will feature a mock ceremony on the arrival of Indians to SVG in 1861. There will also be elections for a new executive to take the foundation forward.
Our annual general meeting, we decided to keep it low-key, just focus primarily on the reenactment, and then we have the annual general meeting. So there are Trinidadians who are willing to come to perform, and we decided to push them back until October, when we are hosting in October a big cultural event at Murray Heights with a dinner and cultural performances. So this year you wouldn't have much of the cultural performance.
Yeah.
But this year, because we are having our annual general meeting, we decided to keep it low-key, just focus primarily on the reenactment, and then we have the annual general meeting. So there are Trinidadians who are willing to come to perform, and we decided to push them back until October, when we are hosting in October a big cultural event at Murray Heights with a dinner and cultural performances.
Baker said the Indian Day celebrations at Indian Bay will be open to the public.
Yeah, the event is open to the general public. It's for well-wishers, supporters, people who wish to experience and to see what transpired. The annual meeting is only for members, because that's where you have any elections and so on. But we will use the opportunity for persons who wish to join the association to also be part of it. And if you trace back, many people who may not look Indian could very well have Indian blood in them. So you need to go and discover your heritage and see what can be done. See if you can fit into being a part of the foundation.
Shanico Sutherland and Lynn Alia Isaacs emerged as the winners of the 3rd annual essay writing competition hosted by the Department of Foreign Policy and Research in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The finalists received cash prizes, mobile phones, and trophies, while the other entrants received certificates last Friday, May 25th, at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Conference Room. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Commerce, Sandy Peters-Phillips, thanked those who participated in the competition, which she said saw an increase this year.
The level of interest generated confirmed that the future of the foreign policy and diplomacy is indeed secured. This year marks the 3rd year of existence of the Ministry's essay competition since inception. And as been the case over the past years, many applicants have applied their best efforts into their submissions, which contributed to the high quality of this competition. This year, we received an increase in the number of applications, of which 75%, or more than half of the total, were the work of teenagers. And this indicates the growing interest among our young people in our essay competition, and importantly in foreign affairs matters. I need to give a clap for that.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Commerce, Sir Louis Straker, said the essays reflected that the young people are thinking about international issues, and he urged them to continue to do well and to use their time wisely.
And if you would strive to be the best you can, there are people who might be naturally bright, but these people depend on their brightness, and they might fall by the wayside. But if you persistently study hard, do your work, don't think that life owes you something, but you would make for yourself a way in life, then you will find yourself passing those who thought they were bright. And by your hard work, you'll be able to achieve a lot more. So young people and those who are older, I thank you for what you have done. I thank you that you are showing yourself to be progressive. Continue to think. Continue to show yourself as progressives. And read. For God's sake, read. Read.
The competition, which currently is open to secondary and tertiary level students, was again sponsored by Digicel. Teachers at the School for Children with Special Needs are using fantasy to whet the creative appetites of their students as they engage in activities to mark Literacy Week. The school is using the theme Drive into Fairyland to give their students the opportunity to broaden their curiosity and expose them to a variety of experiences. As Frances Billingy, a teacher at the school, said, this approach is buttressed by research. She said, while all of the students are not able to read, the concept of Fairyland will make all feel part of the activities, as they will be fully engaged as stories are presented.
Wednesday we'll have a fairy tale quiz, and that will be from different characters, because remember you'll be hearing the stories, so we'll be asking questions from the different stories, and there, when we have that quiz, you'll still be given a little token to show that, okay, I would have got this question correct and so on. And Thursday, let's go back to the Wednesday, and in the afternoon we'll be having the popcorn and a movie. So here you'll be sitting down to watching a fairy tale movie, and then you'll be enjoying popcorns, right? And on the Thursday in the afternoon from 1 o'clock, we'll be having our grand presentation of all the classes. So the classes will be practicing a story, and later on now they'll be presenting that story. Whether they want to do it, because remember we have students of different abilities. So because we have that, the teachers would be the one to say, okay, my class can do this way and so on. But for my class, we'll be doing a dramatization of Rapunzel. Other classes might be just showing some pictures. But this one is one that you should really, really see, because of the different abilities that we have. You will know that, okay, there are so many different ways that you can present a story. So I'm inviting one and all to just come out and enjoy our fairyland.
Billingy noted that the staff, students and past students of the School for Children with Special Needs, Kingston, worked tirelessly to prepare the illustrations for Fairyland, and she is encouraging all to join them in celebrating their week of activities, which began on Monday. The government and people of SVG are being told to think of their environment in a more holistic manner. Environmental activist Louise Mitchell has issued the call in light of the government's decision to reopen the Drip Beach in the Rabaka area for sand mining, even as they banned sand mining at Diamond effective yesterday, May 28th. Mitchell told SVG-TV's Nikita Tony earlier today that the banning of sand mining alone cannot prevent the negative impacts seen across coastal areas.
As of yesterday, Monday, May 28th, the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines has banned the mining of sand from the Diamond Beach and has instead moved operations to the Drip Beach in the North Windward area. Director and founder of the SVG Preservation Fund, Louise Mitchell, is among individuals and organizations who for many years has denounced the mining of sand from beaches, pointing to the negative impacts it poses not only on the coastal landscape, but biodiversity in the sand mining areas. Mitchell told SVG-TV News that sand mining has long been acknowledged as a detrimental practice as it destroys sand dunes, which act as a natural sea defense.
The best sea defenses that we have are not stone walls, but in fact sand dunes and natural beach vegetation. That is, and mangroves as well. That is the best protection for our country from storm surge. If sand mining continued in the area of Brighton, that within 30 years of 2010, at least 30 homes would be lost. The report also concluded that if sand mining continued at Diamond, that the landfill would end up in the sea with catastrophic environmental consequences.
She commended the government's move to ban sand mining at Diamond. However, she warned that similar problems will occur at Drip, as experienced at Diamond and Brighton.
Drip is one of the beaches where leatherback turtles nest, so it would certainly be impacting on the biodiversity of that beach. So absolutely, the government needs to start looking at alternatives for mining sand, quarry sand inland, and also they should make it easier for Vincentians to import sand from abroad.
Mitchell urged persons to do away with the habit of mining sand from beaches, adding that beach sand is not viable for construction.
And that's being sold to the public, albeit at a much cheaper price than quarry sand, but it was so filled with salt that if you use it to build a house, the house is just going to crack in a few years' time, because what happens is that the salt corrodes the steel and eventually leads to cracks in your houses. So using beach sand to build is a very, very foolish practice. In the short term, it may make sense, but not in the long term.
The environmental activists call for persons to think of their environment in a more holistic manner as a way of addressing environmental issues.
So overfished the parrotfish that you can hardly find one now. So certainly a protection of the parrotfish is absolutely essential for our beaches to be able to have higher levels of accretion rates than they have at the moment. So we can't just look at doing one thing, which is to stop sand mining. We have to look at how do we actually rebuild these beaches now. Well, one of the things we can do is we can plant certain vegetation on the beach, things that encourage the sand to stay on the beach and rebuild. There are types of vegetation that are, especially mangroves, that are suitable for the beach climate.
Last Tuesday, May 22nd, Transport and Works Minister Julian Francis announced that the government was seriously considering the importation of sand for use in the construction sector. Francis added that 2 private sector parties have expressed interest in that venture. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
Welcome to Carnival Beat. Well-known Barbadian Calypso veteran Anthony Carter, the Mighty Gabby, is planting his boots firmly here in SVG over the next 2 days. Gabby and a member of his technical team are currently lending support to the Upstage Experience Calypso tent and will be featured in the tent's grand showcase slated for tomorrow, May 30th at the Russell's Auditorium. Speaking with SVG-TV's Nikita Tony earlier today, Carter commended the Upstage Experience for their Island Tour initiative, which he said gives persons the opportunity to experience the art form in their communities. He also made a plea for the business sector to invest in the Calypso art form.
In the show to the people, how can that be anything but good? I am very happy to see that Mr. Stephen Huggins, my dear friend, and his team has decided to go into other areas and bring Upstage Calypso tent to these people. Invest in the Calypso music. Invest in the arts. It's the greatest thing that St. Vincent and the Grenadines has. Not the products that we sell. The best thing we have to sell to the world is our culture. And we need to the business people to get on board, not as a gift or some kind of largesse. It's not that. It's business. This is a win-win situation when the business houses put their money and put their trust into the arts. And in this instance, we're speaking about the Calypso and soca music.
Gabby said he would also like to see a stronger link between the Ministry of Culture and Calypsonians to ensure that culture does not become secondary.
What we can say in 6 to 7 minutes, it takes a politician half an hour to say. We are the documenting people. We are the documentalists. And this cannot be ignored. If you ignore it, you could find yourself out of office very quickly. That's what happened in Barbados. The former regime, they kept banning and monitoring and, you know, editing the music and not allowing airplay for this and that. You can't operate like that. The artists will go on the ground and then they'll get powerful. They'll be like a tree, the roots growing all the time, but you think nothing is happening because you're seeing the branches moving, and then when it comes out more powerful. So you have to be that link between the ministries of culture and the Calypsonians.
Carter and his musical arranger, renowned musician Andy Williams, have promised an extraordinary performance at tomorrow's Upstage Experience Grand event.
I understand my Caribbean people, my Vinci people, and I want to just give them a nice show tomorrow night. So asking everybody, this is Wednesday night, to come and see the kind of performance. Not just me, but some of this cast will be exhibiting. And I have special interest in Sheena because I wrote one of her songs.
There's no question why he should be there tomorrow. And I believe one of his main commitments and purpose would be to be mentoring to the younger people in the tent. Not that he will mentor to the older generation, but mainly to the younger generation. So he will be there in fine sound. I can assure you that.